So this is cool. This is a mini little PC from a company called Minisforum. This is the X1 AI series, and these things have been getting incredibly powerful in relationship to their form factor. This one is actually packing a Ryzen AI 9 HX370, which along with the 890M is capable of doing some gaming at a reasonable frame rate. And look at how tiny this thing is. It actually fits perfectly on this stand. The other impressive thing here is that this is actually user upgradable using SODIMMs for your RAM, so you can jump in there at a later point and actually expand it yourself. Same goes for storage. Now it looks like the model I have here has 64 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage already. And I'm actually gonna crack this thing open and show you what it looks like inside so you can appreciate how tiny everything is and yet how accessible it remains. So look at that nice little mini PC with a built-in power supply. So you don't even need an external power supply, just a power cable into the back of it. It's got a fingerprint reader on it as well, so you can unlock it quickly. And you can either have it in this orientation flat on the table, or it comes with this stand right here, so you can use it in a vertical orientation, which actually looks pretty cool as well. Nice and stable inside of the stand. You can have it next to your monitor, and it takes up actually a lot less desktop space. And then the other piece that I would mention, that this thing is VESA mountable. So if you want to go ahead and throw this on the back of a monitor directly, it comes with the mounting hardware. This is not something you need to buy separately. So now you have like an all-in-one clean setup. You could deploy a bunch of these, come up with some sort of monitor slash mini PC combination that you want to have, or you can just leave it on the vertical stand and you just have a really portable system that you can move around from monitor to monitor, and it doesn't take up very much desk space, doesn't create a lot of heat, doesn't get very noisy. There are many advantages to these type of systems. So the other things in the box, full-size HDMI cable, you've also got your power cable, and that's pretty much it. So let's quickly go ahead and pop the bottom off, because like I said, user accessible, user replaceable. So what you're looking at here is obviously some fans and also your power supply, a few more screws to remove in order to access the RAM area and SSD area. Yeah, so there's a look at your power supply. Look how tiny that is. Packed inside our 2 SODIMM RAM slots here, which are currently occupied by these crucial 32 gigabyte modules. Now you can order this pre-configured with 64 gigs like I have here in 2 32 gigabyte chips. You can also order it with 32 gigs total or 96. And when it comes to storage, we can see we have 1 slot occupied for our SSD. This one is 1 terabyte. You can also configure it from them with 2 terabytes, but look at this. I mean, having 3 slots available to you, it's expandable at a later point, which is far more convenient. You can decide later if you're gonna actually need more storage. And if you do, it actually includes the extra heat sink as well. So you can paste that on top of your SSD for cooling, similar to the initial one that's pre-installed. And one more thing I noticed here, we've got some speakers built in. That's convenient. I mean, you're probably gonna use external ones or headphones, but it's nice to have something in there on a portable system. This is actually the front of the unit that you're going to be looking at. So you've got access to your fingerprint scanner. You've also got a dedicated Copilot button, which is a thing we're seeing more frequently. Analog input for a microphone, USB 4, 2 USB-A ports. And then you've got a full-size SD card slot, which will sit on the top, which is going to be really useful for offloading footage. Yes, you could even video edit on this thing. That's how powerful it is. And if you want more power at a later point, you've actually got this OCuLink port, so you can go ahead and stick an eGPU of your choice into this, and therefore expand your gaming capabilities and expand your content creation capabilities if you want to. Now, as far as port versatility, on the back, you've got a couple of 2.5G LAN ports, your power port, full-size HDMI display port, the OCuLink port that I also mentioned, USB 4, USB-A, Kensington lock. That's a lot of ports when you consider the access on the front and the access on the back. And this is obviously an advantage over something like a Mac Mini. You have some port versatility here, 1 networking, 1 HDMI, so no display port, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as far as Type-C connection points, and 1 analog audio. This is just a little bit more flexible right out of the gate. If you were wondering about like a form factor comparison between the two, that's kind of what we're looking at. The Mac Mini is obviously smaller, but a little less versatile, and it's slightly thicker, but either of these is incredibly portable. So check out how wild this little setup is. We've got this new massive monitor, the GX9, which, as you guys know from a previous video, has ridiculous specifications, up to 330 hertz, which is the way we're running it right now in dual mode, and it's being powered by this X1 Pro. We've got just a limited number of cables going into it. It actually fits perfectly on this stand. Now, probably if you had a monitor like this, you might want to connect an eGPU to this system, but believe it or not, it will actually play some titles at a relatively high frame rate. So we have some examples over here. Forza is here, which I think can run close to 100 frames per second, maybe like 90. Yeah, listen, this is playable for sure. Now, this game is highly optimized for these GPUs. It makes it that much more efficient. It's kind of crazy on something this small that we're playing a title like this. And I'm gonna go off-road now for a moment. Oh yeah, check it out. 90 FPS, high 80s, 90 again, 105, yeah. Look how convenient a setup like this can be without even needing to use the vertical stand or the VESA mount, because this thing is so small that it actually fits on the footprint of a large display like this one. We've got frequent access there for our USBs and our audio, and even if we want to use that dedicated Copilot button, of course you've got your fingerprint scanner accessible as well in a really obvious and convenient location. But like, there's just so many options, so much more versatility with a tiny little system, obviously, than there is with a huge one. Okay, so let's try something else here. You know what? I mean, you could find a balance to it. You could definitely figure out your settings to be at like 60 frames. Still pretty good. Like, here we are playing on that little mini PC right now. We're playing games. And besides, like, if you want to upgrade at a later point or whatever and add an eGPU, like I said, it's totally doable. But I think the point of this is just basically to illustrate like the potential. And if you're using this for productivity or you're looking to deploy a bunch of these things, it gives you an idea of how far we've come with these mini systems and integrate graphics and all that stuff. All right, now Mo also claims that we can play Black Myth Wukong on here. It's funny because it's not a gaming PC. Really, the point is just to show that, like, oh, look, it's powerful enough to do that, because that's the test you would throw at it. But like, it's a mini productivity PC. That's like the target market. Yeah, man. I mean, I can tell it's not on like Ultra or anything like that, but that's pretty cool. Woo. Now look, we got super resolution, frame generation. There's all these advanced techniques to get the most out of it, but still. Ooh. Oh, there he is. Look at this guy. What are we gonna do, bro? What are we gonna do? Oh! Damn. He got the first hit on me. Oh! Well, I don't think we can take too many of those. Woo! Keep swinging. Ugh. I need some special moves here.